6 is going to be editing and revising, and we're going to start off with cups versus arms, which is a review for students, but I like to give them this chart anyways, just because there's a lot of information when it comes to cups versus arms. These are acronyms that students have learned in 7th grade and that we have used throughout the 8th grade year to help them remember what they need to do when it comes to editing and revising their essays, because a lot of times we have our 8th graders kind of get stumped on, well, what do I do to make it better? And so a lot of that reflection time we need to kind of structure a little bit more with our students, because they just don't have the knowledge yet and the skills to be able to start it off on their own. And so we give them cups to help them edit, and cups stands for capitalization, usage, punctuation, and spelling, and I provide the details of what they need to be looking for here, but I do let them know that these are just some basics to start off with, and that there might be some other things they need to think about when it comes to these different topics. And then arms has to do with revising their essay, looking at the content that they've written about, and maybe they're adding something, removing, moving, or substituting information. And so looking at wordiness versus repetition, maybe they need to add some more description in something, or they need to move some parts around to make it a more clear statement. And so I've asked students to complete this specific editing revising task before they submit their rough draft for a second time. So this is something that we have them do to provide them that time for reflection, and I like to build in several opportunities for them to go back and look at their essay multiple times before they submit their final draft. So this is going to be the second time they submit an editing a rough draft, and it's going to be the edited and revised one. And then the next step is actually going to be the peer editing step. And Canvas has a tool called Canvas Collaborations. And basically what that does, I can group students into small groups, and they can complete a peer editing work for this specific essay. And so what I will do is I will give them a peer editing form that they'll complete. They'll look for certain things. They'll look for the MLA format. They'll look for their citations. They'll look for the content, and all these different steps, which does take time. And so students are asked to complete this. They have some time in class as well as they have time outside of class to complete it. And this is a big part of the writing process, because as I mentioned in my literature review, a key finding to Razi's study was the anonymity of it all, of peer reviewing. And so rather than doing peer reviewing through class where you can see exactly who is reviewing your essay, this is all anonymous, and so students don't necessarily know whose essays they are reviewing, and it takes away that emotion that they feel in regards to their relationships with each other, and so they're able to provide that honest feedback. So this is a really helpful tool for many students, because they can let their guard down, they can give that constructive criticism, and then they will also be more willing and open to getting constructive criticism from their peers, because they don't know who has given them this information. And so this is a really great process to go through with them, and to have them take time and reflect on even other people's writing and then go back to their own. And so that was module or step 6 for editing and revising.